This video is 23 seconds long. This man looks at you for 2 to 3 seconds, which you later admit in the comments, and you even go as far as saying he was a really nice guy. But yet you still chose to post this and put in the caption how you deal with all this negative attention from men.
So over the past years, Joey Swoll has been absolutely killing it on social media, building a massive following on Instagram and TikTok by calling out terrible gym behavior. That ranges from filming others to make fun of them,
guys showing off at the gym, threw the medicine ball at the wall 3 times and then left. Gotta love me.
to filming people while they're still in the locker room. And last but not least, filming people that are just minding their own business but framing it as if they are harassing you.
Simply existing, being in the background, trying to grab some weights. When you're set up trying to film your video too close to the kettlebell rack.
And so you see, it's with this last category that Joey accidentally proved just how biased today's media landscape has become when it comes to vilifying men. Because even though all of these women were proven to falsely accuse men of harassing them, with some women even coming out and admitting to this,
later in Jessica's apology letter, her justification for wrongly accusing an innocent man was that she felt she was in the right because she felt that she was making a good attempt to connect with her female audience. Her evidence was her feelings, and we increasingly see this happen in the culture. We're supposed to respect people's feelings and personal truths over actual facts.
all of these news articles chose to completely ignore that part and focus solely on the fact that these women are now getting mean messages and have their reputations ruined, which is exactly what would have happened to those men that they accused if the internet had believed these liars. And yet you still have these major publications trying to spin this into something bigger of Joey Swoll fueling mass misogyny online, even though he has been calling out both men and women equally for their terrible behavior.
Pardon my language, but what the is wrong with you? When is this nonsense going to end? There is nothing funny about this.
There are literally hundreds of videos where Joey goes in on men that engage in toxic gym behavior, but all of those get pushed to the side by these publications in order to paint Joey as some misogynistic douchebag that is just out to get women. This message then gets perpetuated online by other creators who then blame Joey for not educating his followers and for not taking into account the feelings of women who post these false allegations.
The reason why a lot of women don't really like Joey's content is because it invalidates their fear of men in the gym.
And so if you are going to be creating this content, you need to do so with caveats and with an understanding of the historical and societal context that we are living in. It is your obligation to understand those nuances and to teach your audience about them.
Right, just skip past the fact that these women just tried to ruin a man's life. Please drop a like on the video if you think that women will do whatever it takes to avoid accountability, and comment down below what you think. Now, isn't it ironic that when the public shaming backfires, then all of a sudden they want a more nuanced one-on-one conversation to better understand the situation?
There's so many people out there that are just willing to just trust what this person is saying. He doesn't even know me. I would respect him so much more if he would have had a conversation with me, try to get the full context of the video, but you know.
Well, where was all of this nuance before you posted the video? Why not do exactly that before you frame an innocent man to be shamed online for being a creep? I'll tell you why. It's because then you wouldn't be able to milk those sweet victim sympathy views to boost your social media presence and sell some garbage diet plan or coaching session. Now, this type of manipulation and misinformation goes on a daily basis, and to help you combat that is today's sponsor, Ground News. With access to over 50,000 news sources across the political spectrum, it allows you to compare headlines to see who owns the source and where the bias leans per article. So let's use Ground News on the articles on Joey Swoll. Here, we can immediately see how many outlets have reported on the story, where these fall on the political spectrum, and who owns these outlets. And if we compare the headlines from the left and the right, we can see that the left-leaning articles are heavily focused on blaming Joey for fueling misogyny, while the right-leaning articles are much more nuanced. So by using Ground News, you get to quickly compare headlines to see who owns the source and where the bias leans, giving you a complete overview of every story. Now, one of my favorite features of Ground News is their blind spot feed. This is where stories are found that are underreported by either the left or the right. And this feature is fully unlocked through their Vantage plan, which is now having a massive sale of 40% off for a limited time only, making it just $5 a month using my link in the description, or go to ground.news/capital. So break through the algorithm using Ground News and subscribe for less than $1 a month for the Pro plan, or upgrade to the Vantage plan to get full unlimited access to features such as blind spot. And by doing so, you're supporting my channel and you're getting a great product for reliable sources. And you see, it's this type of victim mentality and the promoting of this in society that lies at the heart of the problem, where women are constantly being praised and incentivized to have a bigger struggle than the next one.
This guy kept making me extremely uncomfortable at the gym. I feel so grossed out at times with the amount of sexualization I experience. She clearly does not mind being sexualized. It seems to be her bread and butter, but she loves to play the victim.
Oh yeah, this is peak victimhood culture, and we're seeing it all over the place now.
These false harassment allegations have now escalated to such a disgusting degree that an actual blind man got thrown out of a gym for supposed staring at a woman and making her feel threatened.
Yeah, she came over to me, something along the lines of, "Why'd you keep staring at me? Stop, like, don't be so creepy." I was like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm blind." Had my cane with me, it was folded up on my lap.
Yeah.
She ended up getting the manager and asked me to leave. I was like, "I'm literally blind."
They asked you to leave?
Yeah, they got me out of there.
No way.
Yeah.
Now the insane part is that this isn't even a one-off, since multiple blind guys have been thrown out of gyms or accused of harassing women and making them feel unsafe, even though these men had plenty of proof to show that they are actually blind.
With well over 100 million views, everyone watched me try to explain the fact that I'm blind to the girl at the gym and the gym manager. I reach into my wallet and pull out an ID card from the Massachusetts Commission for the Blind, but now we've got women setting guys up for this situation. Non-blind guys, by the way.
So if even a blind man is getting accused of staring and harassing women, then it's no wonder that Joey's videos that expose this insanity are resonating with so many men and go viral. Now all of these articles that try to frame Joey as someone who's fueling misogyny started quoting different statistics of women experiencing real harassment and feeling uncomfortable to exercise in public, which is obviously completely irrelevant to what Joey is doing and has nothing to do with women who are falsely accusing men of harassing them. If a woman is driving drunk and kills a guy, are you then going to defend her by saying, "Hey, well, what about domestic abuse statistics? What about femicide statistics?" No, since that has nothing to do with the current situation. And so the same holds true for these women who try to shame innocent men just so they can score some views and likes online. But this whole problem of shaming and framing men actually goes much deeper than just gym videos, because not too long ago, a massive online hate campaign was launched against a guy that they called the West Elm Caleb.
I want to talk about West Elm Caleb.
West Elm Caleb.
West Elm Caleb has taken the internet by storm.
Millions of women were going absolutely crazy online in a modern day blood frenzy, trying to dox this guy and get him fired from his job, which obviously leads to the question, what the hell did Caleb do? Well, the short answer, he simply ghosted them. West Elm Caleb was simply a player, or an F-boy if you will, and his only crime was that he told multiple women that they were special, that he was sleeping with them at the same time.
She was with Caleb Saturday morning. Caleb and I went on a date at 3 p.m. on Saturday. The audacity of a straight white man with a mustache.
Another woman's TikToks where she was describing dates that they had gone on. At the same time I was dating him. So this was within like 12 hours.
And when he wasn't interested in them anymore, he simply ghosted them.
So I had messaged her and I was explaining to her like, hey, I just want to let you know that I was dating this man recently and I had just been ghosted out of the blue. And I thought we were pretty serious, like not official, but very serious. And I just want to make sure you're aware of this so you don't get hurt.
That is the extent of his crime, and for this, he had his entire life completely destroyed. Because not only was there a massive online smear campaign going on against him, but they also hounded the company that he worked for, demanding that he would be fired.
You have the LinkedIn stalking, you have the doxing in general of like his full name, you have the like release of his full Hinge profile, but on top of that, someone has resorted to selling NFTs of his dating profile.
Now, the West Elm Caleb situation actually got so insane that even creators like Hassan, who's basically the Jim Cramer of politics and manages to be wrong almost 100% of the time, that even he got this one right.
She was with Caleb Saturday morning. Caleb and I went on a date at 3 p.m. on Saturday.
Bro, this is like women going Joker mode, okay? What is happening, dude? Now, this is not where it even ends, okay? West Elm Caleb's crime against humanity is that he was just like, he's kind of a dick, okay? He's like juggling, okay? He's dating multiple people at the same time.
Good job, Hassan. Now, besides idiots like Hassan, even some major publications like the Rolling Stone, Vox, the New York Post, and even reporters from the New York Times all agree that things got way out of control and that Caleb did not deserve the online hate. Now, all of that sounds great until you start paying closer attention to what's actually been going on here.
It's just scary how normal people are acting about doxing someone to this extent, because people obviously found him, they published his full name, they started tagging West Elm in all of these viral videos trying to get him fired. That's kind of concerning, especially because like these are regular people that we don't know, and a lot of the people's knowledge is just, it's only over a guy who ghosted people.
Where are all the articles accusing the women that started this of being man-haters or fueling misandry? Where are all the articles of a dangerous rise in misandry online and women being programmed to hate men? Well, it's simple, those don't exist. Since if you Google Forbes and misandry, 90% of what you'll find is about sexism against women and about misogyny in the workplace. However, if you Google New York Times and misandry, things get even more ridiculous since it literally gets auto-corrected to misogyny, and again, 90% of the results are about how bad misogyny is. But the one result that stands out is the book I Hate Men by a French feminist, which I already discussed in my earlier video, How Society is Letting Modern Feminism Run Wild, where she literally states that it's a natural state for a woman to hate men. And the New York Times calls this, she touches a nerve. Really? Do you really think that if Joey Swoll had written a book called I Hate Women, that the New York Times would have simply called it touching a nerve? No, they would have tried to throw him in jail. And so all of this brings us to the obvious case of how Joey Swoll and his platform are being heavily targeted by a biased media whose definition of equality is to vilify men and to never hold women accountable for their bad behavior. Women love to get on their high horse about the importance of ending body shaming and online harassment, but as soon as they get even a tiny bit upset, all the classics, receding hairline, small penis, and short guy comments start flying out, and they prove they are just as bad as the men they complain about. And so, Joey's platform is not anti-woman, it is anti-toxic behavior, and yes, I know for some people this is completely new, but women can actually be just as toxic as men. All of these women that were outed by Joey for wrongfully accusing these men would have never apologized or deleted their videos if Joey had not called them out and if they weren't hit with a major backlash in their own comment section. Which brings us to the very important and sad reality that I started this video with, and that is the classic tale of boy who cried wolf, or in this case, girl who cried gym creep. Since yes, I'll be the first to acknowledge that there is indeed a massive decline in people believing real harassment or R-word allegations that come out. However, this all is 100% to blame on the millions of women who have lied and filed false allegations just to seek attention or revenge on a guy. Just recently, even the most loved and respected YouTuber Mr. Beast found himself in a similar situation, where Rosanna Pansino, who is a massive creator herself, was simply edited out of a Mr. Beast video and had a dispute about what place she finished in a hide-and-go-seek game. She blew this completely out of proportion to the point where she was basically portraying herself as a survivor of human trafficking and tried to make Mr. Beast look like some evil abuser. Naturally, this backfired hard and she had to delete everything and apologize. But again, the damage to women's credibility was already done, since this was just another example of a woman using real victims as a way to sell her fake narrative and farm real sympathy. You will never see men be sympathetic to women's issues when you keep doing shit like this, and more importantly, when this goes without some serious consequences. This was how Joey Swoll exposes media bias against men. Please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos.